Hi, and welcome to the 7th lesson in my series of basic chords for electric blues guitar. If you're trying to learn how to play electric blues guitar in the old style, like it was played in the 50s and the 60s, early 70s, 40s, late 40s, then these are the chords that you need to learn. And we went through all the different categories of chords, from basic bar chords to 7th chords, minor chords, 9th chords, and the variety of other chords that you commonly hear in recordings from those periods of time. This last lesson is to teach you an idea that, a lot of people that just get started playing guitar and don't have a background in music, like myself, it's something that will really make playing the guitar so much easier for you. Chords, solos, everything. And I didn't really understand this until I was much older, in fact, not too long ago. And it just helped me get so much better and understand things so much more. It's the idea of the chord numbers and the numbers of the chords. So when you hear a tune and they talk about a 1, 4, 5 progression, or going from the 2 to the 5 to the 1, these are all terms that jazz musicians and accomplished musicians learn from the get-go. But if you're not musical and you want to play guitar and you're getting started in it, it can be confusing. So I'm going to try to use my own understanding of it to teach you guys who are just getting into this. If you're already musically inclined and this is common knowledge for you, but for a lot of guys it's not. So let's take the key of A, and if we make a first position bar chord, this is the 1. If we play a song in A, the first chord doesn't always have to be the first chord, but typically the chord that you're going to be playing in, the song is based in the key of A. And that means the notes you play and the chords you play are based on the A major scale. So if I do a scale here, just a basic scale. I start with an A, and then I go through the scale. And I end up with an A, which is the A. So the first and the 8th notes of the scale are both A's. And so the chords are just simply numbered according to the notes. So that the 1 is the first note in the scale, which is A. So there's the 1, the A chord. Now a lot of electric blues songs and a lot of country songs and a lot of old rock and roll songs and a lot of new rock and roll songs use a basic 1, 4, 5. So the 1 is the A, 2, 3, the 4 is a D. So there's the next chord in the progression, that's a 4. And then the next note, which is an E, that's the 5. So you've got those 3 chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5. And you can mix those up and go from the 5, 4, back and forth between the 1 and the 4, go from the 5 to the 4 to the 1. But basically the song, if it's in the key of A, the 1, 4, 5 is referring to the chords played that match the notes in the scale. So the 1 is an A, the 4 is a D, D, the 5 is an E. That's an E chord. Now you can play other chords. Let's say you're playing it in like a T-Bone Walker thing in ninths. So the A is the 1, go to the 2, or the 4 rather, which is a D. Instead of playing the D major, just go play a D ninth. 1. And for the 5, you could play a 7th chord. And then back to the 1. So when you play the number of the chord, the 1, the 4, the 5, you can play a major chord, you can play a 9th chord, you can play a 7th chord, minor chord, diminished chord, any of the different chords can fit in there. It depends on the song. Now the other place is in between. So here's the 1. The 2, if we're in A, is going to be on the 7th fret of the 6th string, which is a B. So you might hear a song go like this. Where it goes to the 2. And that's a B. I could play a 9th for a 2. I could play a 7th. I could do other things. So 1, 2. So that B also fits into this progression. 1, 2, 3. The 3 here is going to be a C sharp, and that one we're not going to use quite as much. The 4, we got that one. The 5, we got that one. The 6, which would be an F sharp. And a lot of times in A, when you play the 6, it's going to be a minor. So you hear a progression. Like an old 50s doo-wop or something. So we're going from the 1 to the 6, 4, 5, 1. So that's the 6. The 6 can be minor, it doesn't have to be, but a lot of times it is. And then the 7, which is going to be A flat. So A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can use the 7 too. So it'll be A flat. It just again depends on the song. So what the numbers mean is the notes in the scale. So you just move that. So if we're playing in B flat, here's the 1, a B flat, 2, C, 3, which is a D. Whoops, I messed that up. Yeah, it's a D. 4 is a E flat. 5 is F. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a G. So we hear that minor. And then the 7. And then the 8, which is a B flat. So using that, you can figure out pretty much, the chords that are being used in a song. So if you're listening to a song and trying to figure it out, the first thing is try to figure out what key it's in. And a lot of times you can do that by just using the first position bar chord shape and playing it until it matches up with what you're hearing. And then from there you can figure out the other chords by using those, what you know of the notes, 1 through 7, and then the 8, which is the same as the 1. So that is just a simple lesson. I've got a chart for you, which is on my tab, and this is pretty simple, but I've got a chart that tells you the different notes. So if you're in the key of A, what's the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, so forth, and for each key that's used commonly in electric blues. And then I've also got a diagram of the fretboard, which shows you the basic A scale and the numberings 1 through 7, actually 1 through 8. So if you're listening to a song, T-Bone Walker song, a lot of these guys is just going to be 3 chords, 1, 4, and 5, but there are a few where they throw in some different chords. And hopefully that'll help you understand the chords a little better, and also how to use them and how to figure out chord progressions. Now, as far as some simple chord progressions and all that goes, check out my videos on rhythm patterns, and I go through those. And just if you watch my lessons on different guitar players and some of the song breakdowns, I show you chord progressions and things like that. I think the best way to learn chord progressions is just go through and listen and listen to some different songs and see if you can hear the different progressions that are used, besides the 1, 4, 5, which is the typical blues progression.